the Seduce Me series, and then we're done! And I gotta move on with my life and find new games to play. Oh, how terrible. I gotta say goodbye. But anyway, we're finally here at the Happily Ever After bonus episode. We can finally get married after all the nonsense we've been through. So, let's do this whole wedding thing and see how our weddings went with the different boys. I kind of don't think there will be a harem ending for this. Although there was, I would be amazed. But, yeah, I guess we'll just play it and see what happens. We all know who we're married. The day had finally arrived. Was this really happening? I felt elation run through my entire body at the thought. I had waited for this day for years, and yet my mind still couldn't believe it. I had to keep telling myself, yes, event. Interesting. Is there a difference? I'm a bride? I was going to marry James. Like I was the only person in the world that mattered. My life had become a fairy tale, and I was in the midst of my happily ever after. Ooh. I stood in my waiting room, staring at my reflection in the mirror. I couldn't take my eyes off of myself. In a dream instead? No. I made the sensible decision of coming here and waiting in a waiting room instead of at my house. There I stood, behind me. I was regal, and I felt joy in every fiber of my being just looking in the mirror. Diana's flower, still as healthy and magnificent as it had been the night I'd received it, adorned my head and sat gracefully in the crook of my ear. I felt my body quiver. All at once, every thought of today began to collide in my head. Everyone was so supportive of me and my marriage that it shook me to the core. Naomi had made us a custom wedding cake, determined to give us the best celebration with her cooking skills. Suzu had organized the reception, and her Anderson toys in celebration. It was a doll line focused around the theme of marriage and happiness, with me recalled dreams of my grandfather smiling at me, silently giving me his blessing and letting me know how proud he was to see me here. How I wished for him to stand with my family still, despite knowing the universe. I felt myself shake and begin to cry. Everyone was so proud. I collapsed onto the floor, holding my hand over my mouth as delighted and overwhelmed burbles escaped past my lips. This was happening. I had waited for so long. I couldn't control this and I had begun to break down. Was I capable of doing this? Was I strong enough? Yes. Yes, I was. Thinking back on it, I was strong enough to push through every obstacle in my path. I fought off a devil, stood my ground against a succubus. I had even gone to the demon world and I was a mess inside. Please don't wake me up if this is a dream. I looked up into the mirror and gasped, tears escaping me again as my eyes locked onto a familiar face in the reflection. Diana?
What are you doing on the floor?
But, aren't you? Diana chuckled silently.
Human world, my dear. I have my ways for communicating with you.
Diana. My heart began to squeeze tightly in my chest. How I wished for—
Waited for this day too.
I'm so glad we became buds in the end. I watched as Diana lifted her hand and caressed the air in front of her with the back of her hand. To my surprise, I felt a slight breeze brush against my cheek in tandem, wiping it of my tears. Diana smiled and lowered her hand, stepping forward towards me.
May you be happy, and may
Diana leaned forward and kissed the air softly. I felt a soft, airy pressure on my forehead. Slowly, she faded away from the mirror, leaving me to face my reflection. My face was red, and I could hear my head was waiting for me. Slowly but surely, I calmed the nerves dancing along my spirit. As a small knock echoed from my door, I could feel my nerves attempt to kick up once again, but I closed my eyes and calmed them down with another breath. I was ready. I was going to obtain my happy end. The hall was full of people. Many I knew and many I didn't. I stood at the doorway leading into the space and stared at the door in front of me, imagining everyone waiting for me. My parents, my friends, the incubi, my husband-to-be. The second I'm going to be alone. I would have him standing by me, as I would stand by him through anything the universe threw at us. The doors opened at last, and I took in the beautiful sight of the wedding hall at last. My chest. I began to imagine everyone hearing it as loud and powerful as it was. Still, I continued on. I would not stop walking until I reached the end. My gaze, however, locked itself onto my husband-to-be. He stared in awe at my approach, lost in his own thoughts. I love you, little golden flower. Cute, cute, cute. Was to me. As I finally reached them, James held out his hand to me. I took it in kind, walking up to stand beside him at last. We were lucky. Kay, the
matrimony. They have supported and loved each other and have chosen to continue doing
excitement. Staring into his eyes, I became lost in my thoughts as I listened.
It is said that love is a story all on its own. Affection gives us the rising explore it alone. This moment right now is a chapter of that story. And you have many things left to write together.
Ending by any means. This was the beginning of our life together. A life James and I would share and clear my throat and begin. I had so many things to say to this man. I hadn't known where to begin when I first tried to write up my vow. Oh, I love custom vows. They're so cute. However, after months of hoping and thinking, I finally knew what to say. James, you and I have been through so much in our path. I cannot dream of a life without you in it. You make me happy, happier than I could ever dream of being. It was like you were sent to me as a miracle. James could only smile and listen, but I could almost hear his heart beat wildly. I want to keep going through life with you as your one and only. You are my best friend, my love, my world. With you, we can reach the skies and sail forever. Just you and me. I love you.
That goes by where I do not think of you and how much you mean to me. You give my life so much meaning, and I am humbled to know that my love for you is reciprocated.
I slowly began to cry. James's words melted into my heart, and I could see the love glowing in his eyes, his smile. I was truly in love. Just from staring into James's eyes, I could tell that our heartbeats and breaths were matched perfectly in time. There was nothing in the universe that could stop us from being happy, and this moment was the same for me, holding my hands lovingly.
You both just made my job easier.
Table behind her and presented us with my ring first. With glowing pride and slight nervous quivering in his hands, James gingerly took the ring and began to slide it up my ring finger.
Please repeat after me. With this ring, I give all of myself to you. I will protect you and be with you no matter what, until time stands still.
As quick as her statements came, images of our adventures and struggles passed through my mind. We had fought a devil, foiled a succubus, and stopped a world war together. And our story was far from over.
With this ring, I give all of myself to you. I will protect you.
As the ring finally crested on my finger, I couldn't help but wiggle it in glee atop James's hand, making him chuckle a bit at the feel. The band shimmered on my hand in the church light, almost entrancing me.
Excellent! Now, it's your turn.
Great. Kay slowly held out the second ring for me to take. This was my moment. I quickly took the ring in excitement and began to ease it up James's finger. With this ring, I give all of myself to you. Up around us, something in the air felt warm and bright. It was like everything had become right in the universe, and I was able to see a future full of opportunity and bliss. I became so lost that I barely acknowledged that the ceremony—
In perfect matrimony! Let the moon shake tonight!
Wow. At last. Wow. Ah, you're too handsome though, my dude. So beautiful. James smiled and clasped a gentle fist over his mouth, letting his ring shine in the light between us as he softly smiled in joy. He had happily given his entire life to me, and I would hold him close forever.
Now hurry up and kiss already! You know you wanna. We want you to as well.
Leaving only James and me in a peaceful space all on our own. Our kiss marked the beginning of a new life together, and I was happy that the next chapter would begin on my terms. I have the power to get over them. If our meeting didn't prove that, then our struggles and victories would. Truly, this was No, it wasn't just mine. This was our happily ever after. The end. So cute! Like, is the choosing between being a bride or a groom just for, like, your own sanity? That's amazing. Okay. I just had to know about this. Good to know, good to know. I like dresses more myself, so I'll just be a bride forever. Ah, what a lovely wedding episode with James, my prince. So cute. Alright, so that was our wedding with James. Now that his is done, it's time to marry my other prince, I guess. My darling, my honey, Eric. My sweet Eric. So, I hope you'll join me for that, guys. Until then, I will see you later.